Hey, hey everybody, good morning. It is Friday. We're doing just after Thursday's Burr Monday morning podcast. This is Joe, as you know. Average or not, who the fuck cares? So looks like, well, not looks like, Tuesday, I think that was the cast. I mean, I didn't re-listen yesterday or anything. But I think Tuesday's cast for me was the one I was bitching about, about fucking Bill and the billionaires and my friend and fucking being threatened and all, and just to go back and cover all that. Like I said, with Bill, it's more just me being a dick. With my friend though, at first like I said, we can't. I mean, we can. People can't. You can threaten physical, violence and whatnot, and obviously people get hurt all the time. But no, I actually was approached. Not when I made my Tuesday cast, but I'd say maybe when was it? Wednesday, Thursday morning. I was approached, and it was like, hey, what happened back there? Blah blah blah. And we talked about it, and so it's all good. We understand, and like I said, I thought it might have been just like most of the time it's small roasts. When you're like, oh man, they fucking put, they put extra gravy in my mashed potatoes. God damn it. And you're like, I'll fucking put gravy in your mashed potatoes, and you say it in a certain way that's like implies some kind of weird, something funky to it. But, it's you're joking. Well, when I was yelling at the TV and on my side of the house, and I guess all he heard, didn't hear anybody else's voice or anything. Just heard me yell the elbowing to the face is illegal, and so that's what he responded with. It wasn't meant to be, the way the way it sounded. But like I said, even the people you trust, sometimes, like that person at work that got fired a couple back in the middle of winter, got fired, and this girl was coming to work smelling really strong, like weed and stuff. And I mean, I understand it's legal here, but I still don't think your company wants you coming in smelling like it, or bringing shit. I don't think they want you bringing stuff to work. I don't know. At least be a little smarter about it. If you're gonna go to work like that, eat a gummy or something. I mean, if you're if you can't cover the smell, if you can't, I mean, because she did her job, so it wasn't that, and what we do, none of it's really, I mean, you'd have to be not even just smoking, but you'd have to be just damn near stupid to hurt yourself, because it's like screwdrivers, and I mean, it's like, it has to be like a Final Destination kind of scenario. We actually laugh about that at work, because we're like, imagine you fucking did this and this happened, and then you fell and the screwdriver flipped up and this, and because that's how I don't, like I said the other time, works easy. But what I mean by easy is like it's simple. It's repetitive. We're producing a lot of units per day, but it's simple. Each station, whatever station you're doing, you're only doing 1-2 steps, and you're not. It's like adult Legos, really. It's not bad. But so yeah, I'm feeling a lot better this morning. Things are going. I think things are going all right. It's been a good week. Hopefully everybody's had a good week. Listening to Bill, he does the shorter Thursdays, so not too much to comment on. And I don't know. I kind of been, like I said, besides the fact that he doesn't talk. He only talks too much. He talks about sports and billionaires, and then just the shit in New York. Which this time it was, oh, I don't know what to do with my time. Which, I could go back to my Tuesday and be like, well, you fucking got millions of dollars, and you got all this money and all this time. You can't figure out anything to do. Like, like he said, there's so much to do in New York, man. I mean, Well, I mean, there is, not even just New York, but you got millions of dollars, dude. It'd be nothing to go over to Philadelphia and do something there and take a train back, you know? I mean, my dad and I have taken a shit. We flew into New York City in the morning, went over, got a couple slices of pizza for, like, you know, basically breakfast, you could say. Then we went to Grand Central, we went there, took a train to Philly. It's like an hour train ride, hour and a half, something like that. Not, you know, nothing too bad. Went to Philly. He got a Philly cheesesteak, you know, like the actual from Philly kind of deal. Like, you got to be in Philly cheesesteak, or you got to be in Philly to have a real Philly cheesesteak, man. Just like you got to be in New York to have a real New York pizza, you know, or Chicago style pizza. You got to go to Chicago, you know, or if you want, you know, fast food chain pizza, you come to Detroit and get Little Caesars. Or any of the other 1,000 chains that have started in Michigan. But, no, so, yeah, on Bill's cast, really the only things, talking about learning to drum, and how he was, you know, trying to use his feet, and when he was trying to, you know, I'm assuming the way I heard it is he's trying to switch his foot from, you know, like a bass drum pedal to the hi-hat or something like that. And, you know, if it's in like a triplet kind of deal, I understand. I'm not going to try and make the sound on the cast because I'm going to sound stupid as fuck. But I understand what he means. Because my dad started drumming when he was really young as a kid, and he got me drumming a little bit. I mean, I can't drum any song. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I could drum. You know, I'm a drummer. No, I can't play any songs or anything. Like, I can hold a you know, a beat that, like, I mean, like Paradise City or something. One of those real easy, you know, like just like couple drum hits. You know, I could do those songs, but no, I can't play. You know, I couldn't play any good shit, or even any lower shit. Just like I said, the most very basic drum beats. So I get him on that, but the falling part, I don't get, because I haven't gotten to the, you know, the faster sets, the faster stuff yet, and you know, now living in Michigan, far away from my dad, and you know, all the drum shit. You know, it's not like I got drum sets sitting around and don't have the money like fucking Bill, or the time to just go find a fucking, you know, rent a drum set, or go to Guitar Center and be like, yo, I'll fucking throw you guys, you know, $5,000 to set up a private studio room for me, and, you know, yada yada, or whatever, you know, people with money like him can do. Because, you know, obviously he joked about, in his Drop Dead years, he joked about fucking, you know, Nia talking about turning a $900 weekend into a $4,000 one with a bunch of outfits and shit. So, I mean, you know, obviously dropping $4 or $5 grand for him ain't, you know, it's not like, you know, he's stressing it much. So that was the drumming thing. You know, that caught my attention. I was listening at work, and then I'm on my way home from work, so my attention was broken, you know, based on traffic and finishing up at work and shit. But I catch on to, you know, the main shit to me that I think is funny, because that, and then repeat on his ads. He's like, man, he's like these fucking ads they send me. It's like they repeat the shit, and it's like, yeah, you know, it's like they're drilling it into your brain. You know, you fucking. You know, I see those commercials for, like, whatever medicines, and it's like, this medicine, you know, is meant to treat this because this medicine is this, and this medicine is that, and this medicine is also treating this and that, and doctors recommend this medicine and this medicine. Do not take this medicine if you have these problems, this and this and that. This medicine is this. Ask your doctor if this medicine, like, by the time you're done, you said the fucking name of the medicine like 17, you know, or it's like 70 times. You know, it's like, like when they say they put those subliminal screen clips in old movies, like you'd watch a movie and, you know, frame 1362, they'd put in like a moan, like a porno moan or something. So you're watching a movie and then and then that's it. You hear it real quick and you're just like, whoa, what the fuck was that? or it was too fast for your brain to register. That's pretty much commercials have gotten to, in advertising. I feel like it's gotten to the point where they don't even care about the fact of trying to be secret about it anymore. They just drone it. It's just like McDonald's. Nuggets are at McDonald's, burgers are at McDonald's, fries are at McDonald's, sodas at McDonald's. Everything you need is at McDonald's. Broken ice cream machines that never work are at McDonald's. McDonald's, fucking McDonald's app is from McDonald's. That's what it feels like. So, but the funniest part is the next ad. I think it was Squarespace was the next one, and he's like, Squarespace this, and then with Squarespace, and then Squarespace, and then if you go to squarespace.com/Squarespace, and he's like, God, I'm repeating myself, and I thought, well, he just bitched about this, so literally the ad before, so would you expect the next ad to be like, Squarespace, we're not going to repeat ourselves because Bill fucking caught on, it's funny. It's like, I know on Tuesday I rambled and bitched, and I even said it. I was like, I'm fucking, bitching about the same shit here and rambling. So, I get it, but it was funny just the fact that it's like, like he forgot what he had just claimed about advertising. The just one ad before that, I get off topic all the time, so I can't fucking judge. It was just funny. But the funniest part of his whole cast to me was when he was talking about whatever the donkey kick exercise, and he says when he tried to do it, it was like trying to do a pull-up. Like, did God not give me the muscles I needed to do this? And that's fucking hilarious, because that's how it feels sometimes. Like in college, I had all my roommates were ROTC guys, Air Force ROTC guys, and I don't know. The reason I mention that is because I don't know if if Army and Navy and all the other ROTCs, if obviously it was different. Like, I saw the Navy, they would be swimming a lot more than they jog too, but they swim a lot more too. Whereas the Air Force ROTC, they weren't really in the pool as much as at least when I was able to go and hang out and do their voluntary workouts, I guess you could say, or not voluntary, but it's like you got to do so many hours on your own each week. Where's the fucking going with that? Oh yeah, but no, on the did God not give me the muscles for this part? The funniest part about that is when I was working out with them, I'm just average Joe, and they're just college guys too, but they've been doing these workouts for a good nice little minute. And for me, it's pretty, I'm just going because I'm like, fuck it, getting a workout in. I don't have to do the hundreds and hundreds of pounds on everything that they're doing, but no, on some machines, like, I had random machines, I would beat them in. There was one ab machine. I don't remember exactly what exactly you were doing with your abs. I know it's pretty straightforward. It's kind of like a sit-up, a crunch. You only got so many workouts. A little twist here and there, something like stretch, kind of, But you only got so many workouts for your abs. But no, I did better than everybody. All the ROTC my friends, not everybody in the group, but all my friends, I did better, and I kind of laughed about it because I'm thinking, that's fucking great. I don't even do this shit, every day. And I did better than they did. And, so, sorry, I'm in traffic. And, so I totally can understand that train of thought of, did God not give me the muscles to do this? Because there's things that I did better than them, and then there's things that I couldn't do for shit. For literally I couldn't do at all. Yeah, pull-ups was one of them. I don't have any upper body strength. Like, when I punch you, I gotta transfer that through my ass. Like, I gotta bring the weight up all the way, through the dark side. Literally, I gotta bring the weight and power through the dark side. So I'm just sitting here, just in case. I'm sitting here in the drive-thru line, gonna get me a soda pop At McDonald's, man. Like I said, McDonald's drive-thrus at McDonald's. The big arches are McDonald's. It says warm up McChicken with coffee. Your coffee from McDonald's. Yeah. Shit. So sports-wise, like Bill said, we got the Knicks Game 6 at Madison Square Garden tonight. As I said, I'm not a Knicks fan specifically, but a New York fan. I'm always going to root for, where my family's from. So, I'm going to root for the Knicks. It was cool. He said he's, not rooting for the Knicks, but he said he liked them. It's cool he said he liked the Rangers, too. I mean, he's, obviously a Boston fan. But, it's cool because not many people are sports fans enough to like their rivaling cities or, towns, etc., whatever you want to call it, however you want to look at it. So I thought that was kind of cool of him to say that. On that note, though, I really don't want the Celtics to come back and win in Game 7 from down 3-1. But I'm not. I feel like that's what's going to fucking, I'm one of those superstitious people. I can't, if a game's close, I got to turn it off if it's close at the end and it just happens, and I got to let it happen. And, I'll come back and check the final score, and I don't know why. It's like me watching ruins the fucking chance, But, yeah, so, I'm not really invested in the basketball. Hockey, my team's out. New York teams are out. So we got really, I was going to say just Dallas, but, it depends if Connor Hellebuck can win a fucking... If he can be a goalie, like an actual professional goalie on the road, well, he's got to do it home and the road now. But if he can do it, they might actually, have a comeback. But right now it looks like Dallas, Edmonton Oilers already moved on. They're waiting on the winner between those two. And then on the other side, we got the Carolina Hurricanes moved on, and they're waiting on the winner. Probably, I'm gonna say tonight the Panthers beat Toronto, but hopefully not. And give me 1 second, I gotta pause. I'm in a drive-thru. Alright, sorry about that. I just had to put my order in. And now I guess I'll let you ride the rest of the way with me. Fuck it, we already said I'm in the drive-thru. That's why I don't do the video part, is because, better safe than sorry. So, phone's sitting on the center console here. And, this is my very expensive studio. Well, I guess it is an expensive studio if you fucking take the Blue Book value. Well, no, I mean, in my version of expensive, because 10-15 grand for a 10-year-old truck is, not for the age of the truck, but just, 10-15 grand in general for a truck, I couldn't afford to do that again. Well, not even again. It's not my truck, really, but it's in my name for, legal purposes, man. Hold on 1 second.
211?
Mm. Thank you, you too. Alright, step 1 is done, man. All we just gotta do is grab the fucking drink from step 2, and then we're out of the drive-thru. I think the Panthers take it tonight. Hopefully, though, I hope Toronto forces Game 7.
Morning.
Morning.
Thank you.
And, on that note, hold on, let's see what traffic's doing here. Everybody's going everywhere. We don't fucking know what's going on. No, on that note, I hope Toronto forces Game 7. And then that'll actually be in Toronto. So they have home ice, which, against the Panthers doesn't mean shit because they're just going to beat you up anyways. And I think that's what's happening. I think Toronto's just getting beat up. I just don't think that they can physically handle it. So yeah, I think it's gonna be, I still don't think Hellebuck's gonna win. Well, it's only 2 games now, but like I said, he's got to win 1 more on the road. That's the next game, Game 6, right? Yeah, so he's got to win in Dallas, which he's 0 for 9 of his last 9 playoff road games. 0 for 9. Like he hasn't won shit. So we'll see what happens. But so I'm gonna say Dallas and Edmonton is the Western final. That's my pick. And I'm rooting for Dallas just because, like I said before, McDavid, he kind of threw a little fit, and to me, if you're captain, or not even a captain, but like I said, if you're a star player, if you're a player that every hockey fan that is actually watches more than 4 or 5 games in a fucking season. If you watch even just 1 or 2 games, not even Edmonton, just a hockey game in general, sometime during the intermission or commercial break or something, they'll mention his name just because they mention all the top players all the time. So, just on that note, I don't want him to win because, like I said, I feel like you need leadership qualities. Like, I don't see the locker room of Dallas, so I can't tell. They could all be in there like fucking ignorant fucking assholes, but no, just because of that, I don't. I think he needs to mature. Before he deserves it. I mean, he's earned it talent wise. He's a champion. But yeah, he needs to deserve it. Maturity wise. Now on the east side, we got the Panthers and the Hurricanes. So the Hurricanes, I think they can score, and I think they can. They don't have the scoring that Toronto is supposed to have, but just like Tampa, with Kucherov and Gensel, Point. Hagel, but he got knocked the fuck out literally. Cirelli, all of our scorers, like we had like 5 30 goal scorers and like 4 40 goal scorers. They all got shut down. Toronto's got like 4 or 5 top level scorers, all pretty much shut down, like 1-2 points in their last 8 games or some shit. So I'm interested to see here if Carolina, because they got the defense. They held Washington, to damn near nothing. Frederick Anderson's, as good to me, he's as good a goalie as Bobrovsky for the Panthers. So I'd say goalie, you're equal. Defense, I'd say you're pretty much equal. Besides, the Panthers are more physical. And then offense, that's where it gets tricky because, I'd say the offense could be equal, but the Panthers are so physical that I don't think the Hurricanes are going to have the chance to get offense. Now, I'm rooting for the Hurricanes, and like I said, I'm still rooting for Toronto because I don't fucking want Florida Panthers, especially, first it was just the Florida rivalry for Tampa Bay, but now it's every team they play, it seems like they get away with these dirty hits that, other teams, players, like I said, in other matches, they get their fines, they get their penalties, but then, this team, it's just like, he didn't mean it. Did he really mean to hit him with his, did he really mean to put his finger through his eye and make him blind? Did it really mean for that? Or was he just trying to poke him in the forehead? Was he trying to flick him in the nose? Was it a joke? Like, no, get the fuck out of here, man. Look at the replay. It's obvious fucking, elbow to the face, fucking chop to the throat, whatever the fuck they did. They might as well do a chop to the throat. Another thing, so this isn't sports, this is Michigan, moving up here. Florida right now, or not even right now, but, most of the year is super humid in the 80s, 90s, 100s. Fucking just miserable, disgusting out. And it's amazing, yesterday, sitting at work and working a warehouse, and we got up to like 76. So they opened up the warehouse doors, let the fresh air in. The doors luckily face north, so we're never going to have the sun shining in the doors because it's, it's the other side. And so, it's not, for me, it's, it's 76, but not just the 76, but the humidity is, I'd say it was, I guess, probably equal to or lower than what Florida's would be. But Florida was not like 90 degrees right now, like I said, and it's like 76 here. So, for me, being used to there, at first I used to always bitch about my parents, like, why'd you guys move to Florida and have me there? I always wanted to live up north, so I was always mad about it. and didn't understand it. Well, I understood it from their point, but it sucked from my point of view. But now I kind of appreciate it, because growing up in hell, I mean, literally. And if you ever, if you go to Florida, or you ever been long enough, you'll know, like, the weather is like, it's hell. The heat, it's fucking, it's brutal hot. Like, people die from that heat every year. A lot of people. I don't, not to sound like fucking old orange king of the country. A lot of people do a lot of things, and we love the people. We love the things and the people, and we love to love. And no, no. Point is, it's fucking hot. Even I was listening to the Tampa Bay radio still. I still listen to the radio from down there. It's better listening than what I got here so far. But I was listening the other day, and they're like, the forecast is hot as hell. And I thought, ain't that the fucking truth? Like, finally, they're actually telling it how it is. But, no, so on that note, 76 degrees, and everybody in the warehouse is like, boy, it's hot out there. And they put the air on. And I thought, oh, my God, I'm finally among my people, Like, in Florida, all my, not all my friends, but most of my friends, family, people that worked with me, knew me, they'd be like, why do you complain about the heat so much? Like, why do you... you fucking live in Florida, it's hot, like, just deal with it, blah, 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 like, turn a fan on, put on a lighter shirt, fucking lose some fucking weight, or, I don't know what they were saying for me to do, but, it was always bitching to me, like, I could, I'm like, look, like, my philosophy, and, not to argue any philosophy, because I know some people get really cold really easy, and I understand the opposite, because I get really hot really easy. But my philosophy is, you can warm up by putting more layers on, like, even bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can go farther and farther. Like, to the point where you can't even move if you have to, But you can't cool down besides like naked, and jumping in cold water is, that's the last resort. And even then, there's no cold water when it's like 90 something degrees out every day, and 100 degrees out every day. You get to the beach, and it's like getting in like a big pool of pee. It's like, it's fucking piss warm. It's, a sauna at the beach with hot sun beating down on you. It's gross. Yeah, at Disney World, they keep their water clean and cool, and all those kind of places. Busch Gardens, Universal, SeaWorld, all that. You're going for fun. You're going for a week or two for a vacation. Florida's perfect. That's exactly what you need. I'll do it, and I hate the heat, But, no, fucking 76, and they're like, man, it is humid out. It's, we got to turn the air on. And I was actually comfortable already, so when they turned the air on, I got cold, and because the warehouse is, shaded, obviously, so I got cold in the inside. I wasn't doing any hard physical work, so I wasn't breaking a sweat, and I actually got a little chilly, and I thought, this is hilarious. I'm going to be wearing a jacket in this warehouse all summer long, because they're going to have the AC set so low. Like in Florida, people are always like, no, set it to like 78, like damn near almost 80, or, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's in 90, 80, 90 outside. Why would you set it to that inside? Like, you're sweating out there, you want to sweat in here. But then, no, so here they set it to like 68, which is, like I said, I'd rather put a jacket on, so I love it. And the fact that, they're like, oh, it's, it's getting muggy. I didn't notice at all. I wasn't sweating. I was comfortable. To me, it was like a beach day, like a picnic beach day. It was, in the sun, it was a little warm, but, no, I didn't notice at all. So I was absolutely enjoying myself. Like, like I said, in the shade, in the warehouse, I was enjoying myself. So the fact that everybody else gets hotter than I do here faster, like, yeah, they complained about the cold, which I loved it. That's my first year, though, so we'll see when I'm 20, 30 years deep. But, so I loved the cold, and then the spring, the greens, like, in Florida, yeah, you got green because it's always raining, and it's like, it's a swamp, so there's green shit everywhere, but that fresh new growth green, that, springtime green, I guess you could say, I don't know how, that's the only way I could look at it. And all the flowers, yeah, they might be weeds here. Like, people are like, dandelions are weeds, but in Florida they wouldn't be, because in Florida, everything is mean. All the plants are prickly. Excuse me. That's why you don't breathe in the wrong pipes. But no, everything in Florida is mean. Like, you got prickly shit in the grass. So what happens? You're walking through the grass, and say barefoot. Like up here, you can pretty much, for the most part, in the fields, like around your house or around like even the gas stations or most streets, like in the fields, you could just take your shoes off and literally just like fucking tra la 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 la, like a fucking children's story, through the fields and shit, and get away with it and have a blast. You could, most areas you could throw down even the tall grass. Like you could, tall grass anywhere you got to worry about a snake or some kind of fucking wild animal. But like here you could throw down a towel, a blanket, and have a picnic, and you'd be fine. Like you're not gonna have really any ants or everybody's got a bee that flies around them, or fucking some dumb shit like that. But hold on here. I gotta do my little loop-de-loop. There's a semi in the way of my parking spot. But no. Yeah, everybody's got, a bug that fly around you. But yeah, no, you can have a picnic just fine. Florida, you take your shoes off and you go trotting along through that fucking grass. And you better hope it's rained recently, because if not, those sharp things are gonna fucking stab the shit out of you. And they're gonna be stuck in your foot and you step on them. And, God forbid that you weigh a lot of weight, you're heavy. Like, for example, like I'm over, a little over 200. I'm 6'1", damn it. I'm not fucking fat. Fucking judging me. I see you looking at me. You fucking people thinking I'm a fatty. No. So, yeah, that shit'll, if it's dry and it's hardened up, it'll go like the pokey ends, and they're sticking out all directions, will go like it'll go right into your foot. So you got to pull it out, like not like a nail, but it's not a splinter either. You got a good, couple centimeters, like a third of an inch, that's coming straight to your, like straight into your foot, and then, like I said, you might have multiple pieces. So you're sitting there like it's, like a fucking porcupine or something. You're pulling out like, multiple thorns, and all you tried to do is walk, across a small little patch of grass to get to a gas station from, your job, or from, something stupid like that. Or even, like I said, like having a picnic, you go and, here you got a bee or two that flies around. All right, whatever. You got, maybe if you're out in the woods here, you're somewhere far enough, you got Yogi Bear, taking your picnic basket. But no, other than that, it seems pretty fucking calm and nice, peaceful. Like I said, the greens are beautiful compared to, the greens in Florida. The flowers are beautiful. It just, everything's come back to life with, with vigor, with vigor. It's strong. But, yeah, so no, I love the weather here. It's been fucking awesome. Obviously nobody likes being hot in summer, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to see, especially working through the hot hours, 8:30 to 5. By the time I get off, it's still hot, but it's not the worst, or it's ending at the worst. So that's the cool part. But on that note, I'm sitting here at work. It's 8:20, so I got about 10 minutes. I'm going to take about 8 of those to myself and blow my fucking nose, because smoking, for some reason, I don't know why, it makes my nose run. Makes me have to pee, too. It was always like drinking. Like, if I smoke, I got to pee like I drank. I never understood that. Anybody else understand that? But, yeah, so on that note, we're going to check in with you on God, now I sound like fucking Bill. We'll see what happened, see what he said about Monday on Tuesday, and see how the playoffs go over the weekend. Other than that, everybody have a safe healthy, happy, all the things I usually say. You know, fucking good vibes, as always. Fucking weekend. And Bill, go fuck yourself. Everybody else, go fuck yourselves. And we're out. On to work. Fuck, 8 hours. Here we go.